What's up, buddy?
What's going on, brother?
Nothing. What's going on with you?
Nothing. It's been a week.
Yeah, it's been a
Crazy
week.
week. What the heck are you doing?
I'm dropping stuff over here.
We're losing you.
I'm back. I'm back.
All right. All right. You're supposed to have that taken care of beforehand.
I
And
know.
that is one ugly, ugly, ugly shirt you have on.
Welcome to the show, Neon Dion. I'm showing my support for the Cowboys today with their game against the Eagles.
Oh,
Yeah, buddy.
man. All right, so let's get talking. We have a lot to talk about today, man. We have
Hit
so
it up.
much
What's
going
up,
on.
Cam? Cam's here already.
What's going on, Cam? What's going on, Opie?
OP.
So, first things first. We haven't been live since the CFP playoffs have been announced. We did a quick little reaction fast. So, for those of you that haven't heard our reactions, man, Florida State got left out of the college football playoffs. We got Michigan, Alabama, and then we have Washington versus that other team. But
Texas Longhorns.
Texas, yes. It's been a long week, brother.
Yeah, I know.
But what do you feel? What are you thinking about Florida State being left out?
I think it sucks. I'm still pissed off about this from last week. I think we touched on that. I really hope that Michigan just beats the piss out of Alabama. Just out of pure principle that I don't think they should have got in there. I
wonder if the guy was on the sideline for Alabama, for Michigan.
What's up, Johnny? I don't know, Marky. I'm not happy about this whole thing.
Do you want it to go to 12 teams like next year?
I think it should expand it. If you want to put Alabama in there, then you got to give more people a chance to get into. I mean, 4 teams, it's great in theory, but you have to come up with a better system. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now, but the 4 teams format is not fair. There's potentially 8 other teams that should be in there. So I think that's a good thing. Change it up.
So I'm liking. I think I told you before. I think they got the right 4 for the 4 best games, but the 4 most deserving teams did not get in.
No,
you beat who's in front of you. You deserve to play. You deserve to be in the games. Who knows what is going to happen any given Saturday or Sunday or Monday, whenever these games are. I think, Chris, you're right. I think
Michigan Chris is going to be in here just terrorizing us today.
That's okay. I like it. I think for quick, guessing on what's going to happen, we'll discuss it as it gets closer. But I think Alabama is going to blow out Michigan, just like Opie said. And then I think Texas is going to beat Washington. But we'll talk more about that when that gets closer. Our main man here, Corey, I think he had some kind of solution to these playoffs on trying to figure out how we get these 4.
All right, so I did some thinking on it after you guys had your show last week, and you posed that same question. You're like, man, what do we do then? I know some people are looking forward to the 12-team system, and even that bugs me a little bit because you're going to have such a gap in skill level, in talent, even from number 2 to number 12. The gap is it's easy to see, honestly, with the eye test. So what I came up with is almost too easy to me. The first couple games of the season, these teams are playing weak non-conference schedules because they're playing teams who are agreeing to these games because they get paid a butt ton of money to play these games. That keeps their program going. So when these small schools play a team like Alabama or Clemson, they know they're going to get throttled, but they're doing it for the money. So my solution is they need to stop with the weak non-conference games. They need to have these teams who you think are juggernauts, these teams that are fighting for playoff spots. You need to play non-conference games that actually matter so that you can get an idea of who the better teams are. So that's what I came up with. I think it's pretty easy, but I mean, tell me what you guys think about that.
Anything is better than what they have now. I think that's an excellent idea, Corey. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that too. The non-conference schedule definitely needs to be better. But also, again, like like you said, Corey, though, some of those other teams, those other smaller schools need that money. But it doesn't help the college football playoff. Doesn't help the discussion at all. While we're in college football, so that's basically what I have going on for it. Florida State got screwed, but at the same time, I do think the 4 best teams got in. So, anything else, Aaron? You have anything else going on with that?
No, I'm just disgusted with the whole thing. But I will be watching on New Year's Day. So
Really quick, because I didn't get to. I was busy yesterday, but so I didn't get to fully watch this Army Navy game.
okay.
First of all, I think we have an overview of it. Did you see the helmets, the uniforms the Army Navy had?
Just briefly, just a few minutes ago, I think they're awesome looking.
Man, those things are fire. Those things look awesome. They rival like the Oregon Duck. I think they looked awesome. I like how Army Navy does this game. They have their own weekend. They don't share the floor with anybody else. They don't. It's just them. The only thing that sucks is, the only thing that sucks is the fact that one of the teams, I can't remember which one, Army or Navy, could be bowl eligible if they won that game. So now they can't be in a bowl because they didn't have enough wins before the bowls were already decided. So that's the only thing that stinks about that. But the rivalry, the ritual of that game, and I love the fact that it is by itself. It is awesome. So the recap of the game is the fact that it came down to the wire. It came down to a goal line stand between Army and Navy. They got the ball down to the 1.5 yard line with a few seconds left, and Navy they were down by 8. They were about to punch it in. If they punched it in, they obviously would have to get the 2-point conversion to force overtime. They got stopped by Army. It was a QB sneak, a brotherly shove.
They tried to do a tush push.
Whatever you want to call it. It was epic, though. It was an epic stand. I wish I got to see it live, but I did have a couple other obligations I had to get to. But I did watch the recap of it. And it was a game. And that goes to one of my questions that we're going to have later on with this, with the podcast. Something I would definitely like to see is see that game, see Army Navy, just to see the rituals, just to see feel what that stadium is like.
That would be cool to see. I was only at one game down at West Point, and it was really actually kind of cool to see. Like I've said 1,000 times, I'm not a big college football guy, but the atmosphere down there was incredible.
Yeah.
So
now it's Sunday. So let's start talking some football.
Go for it.
But we got someone that is gonna love your jerseys hanging out with us tonight. This evening. We're gonna bring our main man Lee, and he's gonna go over some NFL with us today. Oh, there he is. What's going on, Lee?
How's it going, fellas?
What's going on, big guy?
Sorry about any lag issues.
That's okay. We'll get through it. We'll work on it.
That jersey. I love the throwbacks.
Well, I can give you this one because I only wore this for today just to piss Mark off. So it is Deion Sanders, though.
I'll make sure to wear it every time I see him, too.
Yeah.
So let's finish up some stuff from last week real quick before we move on to this week's games. My Eagles got blown out. They got beat. They got destroyed.
Well deserved.
I think the Niners, if they play that way, anybody can beat. Nobody can beat them.
No, they were unstoppable last week.
I don't know what you think, Lee. I know you hate the Eagles, but your team as well got absolutely decimated by the Niners. Yeah, 42-19. That's terrible.
So, Mark, before Lee gets going, how confident were you at the end of the first quarter when you were up 6-0 and they just got waxed the rest of the way?
Oh man, I was not expecting that. I was like, wow. Scoobs, I agree with you about those Cowboys. Anyway,
Cameron, Cameron, you lost money, didn't you, bro?
oh yeah, Cameron lost only a little bit though.
Only $100.
Only $100.
Nothing
A
bad.
little bit of money. No, I was feeling good. Like Purdy did nothing. That first quarter he looked absolutely terrible, and I loved every second of it. But then they clicked. They came on. They destroyed us. As you guys
That's
seen,
the
it was
problem with that Niners
42-19.
team.
So, what do you think, Lee, about the Niners? There, how unstoppable are you? Worried about them being a Cowboys fan?
Just a football fan in general, you have to worry about them. They did it last year to us in the playoffs. Completely dismantled us, made us look terrible. But they can be beaten. They lost 3 in a row. So it goes to show you can beat them any given Sunday, but they are a scary team.
Absolutely. The only thing
And
with
they
them is
destroyed both of us.
that they did. The only they absolutely decimated both of our teams, but healthy they are very scary. When they lost those 3 games,
Yes,
they were missing somebody, whether it be Debo or whether it be Christian McCaffrey or Trent Williams, that
Trent Williams.
tackle. Yeah. So when they were missing one of them, they were beatable. The Eagles were missing a couple key players with Goddard. Some guy broke their forearm.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah. And then we're missing our big tackler. So we got to figure out how we're going to beat those Niners in the playoffs. Either team. I mean, if it's your boys, I hope the Niners destroy you just because the Cowboys. But
Joe, not
What'd
hard to
Joe
make the
say?
Cowboys look bad come playoff time.
Yeah, no, that's right. The Cowboys have some work to do. So we're gonna go. Enough with last week. I don't want to talk about last week. Like Cameron said, it was a tier. So this week we'll start with some NFL games from this week, and why not get right to it? What do you think is going to happen tonight, Lee?
That was a toss-up. First time we played this season, it was a one-score game. I think it was, what was it, 28-23? And it easily could have went our way. It went your way. Those teams know each other very well. They're going to play hard every time. It's a divisional game. It's not going to be easy. I honestly don't know how tonight's going to play out. Of course, I hope we win, make it a little tougher for seeding purposes. Who's going to win the division? Who's going to do home field advantage? Number 1 seed outcome for us, but you never know because there's still 4 more weeks after that, and we got a gauntlet to go through. We have to focus on, but I think it'll be another one-score game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout on either side.
See, I'm nervous either way. I think the Eagles have gone through that gauntlet that you're about to go through as a Cowboys fan, and so we're playing 49ers. I saw a stat this week. After playing the 49ers over the last 2 seasons, teams are 7-24 because of how physical that game is. So that's counting against us. You guys had 10 days to prepare. And again, we've had a gauntlet. We had 3 games in 13 days leading up to this, and then we had this week off. I think it's going to be, but I also think the fact that we lost last week, we're going to be angry. I hope we come out and we play better. AJ Brown mentioned that they had a team meeting. I think the Cowboys so far this year have absolutely destroyed the bad teams. Now they need to show it to maybe be able to talk about it in the playoffs. Beat some good teams, starting with the Eagles. I think you guys, the Cowboys, should absolutely win this game. You are playing amazing at home. Dak is playing lights out. CD Lamb is having a hell of a year. We just are at the end of our huge gauntlet. Not that the Seahawks next week are going to be an easy team by any means, but we're nearing the end. If I look at our gauntlet that we had from Dolphins, Chiefs, Niners, Cowboys twice, and Seahawks, if we came out of that 4-3, I'm not going to be upset about it. But I also want to win that game because I want to beat the Cowboys. I want the Cowboys. I don't want to give them the advantage. I don't want to give them the feeling that they can do something against these better teams. What do you think about, who you guys have beat and who you guys have to face yet?
I think he's got a little bit of a lag.
Yeah. He's trying to catch up to us.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he froze. If he gets back with us, Mark, what about the rest of the schedule today? Who's there? What games are important to the rest of the league besides just the Cowboys and the Bills? Obviously, I was talking about earlier. They're up 14-0. Just had a fight. I'm getting live updates on my phone here, but what other games you think are important to this playoff race today?
Well, I think there's a lot of big games right now. The Bills-Chiefs game that's going on right now. I'm sorry to those of you that are watching this stream. You're missing part of the game. But your Bills are up 14-0, man.
We need the game. There's no way. If we lose, we're done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the crazy thing, so I don't know if you've seen any of the scores from earlier today. The Browns beat the Jaguars. That's huge. With their Jaguars are supposed to be a legitimate contender.
Yeah.
Lee, if you get caught up here, brother, feel free to jump in what you think. If not, that's okay too, brother.
That Browns team is no joke too.
That defense.
Yep.
That defense. I think every quarterback. How about Joe Flacco making a return?
Yeah.
He's back.
First shot again. Boom.
He's like
incredible.
95 years old.
Yeah. It's like Nolan Ryan.
Oh, there's my alcohol. I forgot where I put my alcohol.
Oh, boy.
But, man, that was a huge, huge game for the Jaguars to lose. But, that, like we said, that Browns game, or that Jags team, they were supposed to be a contender. I'm surprised that they're getting beat.
Well, I mean, you have to understand, too, Trevor Lawrence just got a really nasty ankle sprain last week. I don't necessarily think he should have been playing today. I know with the playoff implications he's got to, but I don't think they trusted their backup quarterback that much. But, they had to play him. I mean, and that's probably part of the reason he was hurt. And they made a stand at the end of the game from what I was seeing. They almost came back and did it. But, yeah, I don't think Trevor Lawrence should have been playing today. But, it was a big game for them. They had to do something.
Another big game today was the Rams and the Ravens. You would think the Ravens would absolutely destroy the Rams, but the Rams have been playing well. It went to overtime. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
It went to overtime. Ravens pulled it out.
Yep.
That happened while we were actually live.
Yeah,
I was trying to watch it a little bit.
I was watching the NFL app I have on my phone, and I was getting real updates on the yeah, Chris said his backup was hurt worse than Trevor. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. So then they would have put a third stringer in. That was a bad idea.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Chris just said it. So,
yeah.
But
so the Rams, I think they were on a run, man. They could have, if they won that game, they were going to make some trouble.
I'm surprised at the fall of that Rams team too, because they were just in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and they're just nosedived.
They're old.
So, yep,
they're old. And that's the only problem. I mean, they're not actually old, but in football world, they're old. And just as Chris said, Trevor has the same ankle sprain that Mahomes did last year. So, and
Just shows Mahomes is tougher than Trevor.
Mahomes is.
The dude's on another planet.
Oh God, yeah. Another big game today is the Seahawks versus those 49ers that just beat both teams.
I think the 49ers are just going to steamroll them too. I don't like to get ahead of myself. And I know I said Purdy needed some more time to develop, and that boy made me eat my comments last week. So he's, like I said, I don't think he's overrated. I just think he needs some time, and he's adjusting really well. I mean, he's, in my opinion, the MVP lead frontrunner right now. So we'll see what happens. I'm thinking they're going to win this game against the Seahawks too.
Well, that's a divisional game though. So
yeah.
So unfortunately, we had to take Lee out, and I think he's lagging a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay.
We'll
either get him set up or we'll get him on another time when he's all set to go.
Yeah, absolutely. But right now, it's only 14-10 with 2 minutes to go in the half. So that's closer just because it's divisional, just like the NFC East. Such a divisional game that you never know. You never know with divisional games. Like teams that suck could come back and destroy. And just because, I mean, look at the Eagles. I mean, they played the Commanders very, very close.
Yeah. Well, the Commanders. Sorry, Donnie, if you're watching.
Yeah. Another big game. How about, I don't know if you've seen the Bengals Colts. They both had stuff to play for. The Colts both were in position. I think they were the 7th seed in the playoffs today, going into today. And the Bengals, Joe Burrow is hurt.
Yeah.
So Jake Browning, man, he played lights out last week. And he played lights out today. He had over 300 yards passing today. I don't know what to like that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But another thing is CJ Stroud and the Texans got destroyed by the Jets.
The Jets of all teams.
Jets. That was surprising to me today. I don't know what your thoughts of that.
Anytime the Jets win a game like that is surprising to me lately.
Well, they beat the Eagles, so.
Well, that was a shock for me also, believe it or not.
And then, but it's crazy. But like, just to go back to the Bengals Colts really quick, that it makes you wonder, like just having that Jake Browning, man. How many teams would kill to have him right now?
Yeah.
Like you have the Jets that go from from Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson, and then he struggled for the year. Except I had a feeling that he was going to have a big game today, though, because he wanted the ball back, and that was the big story of the week. Was he wanted to prove himself? He wanted to play. He wanted the ball back. And
so do you think they have a shot, though? I mean, they're talking about Aaron Rodgers is practicing. Do you think they have a legitimate shot of making any noise and getting in the playoffs?
I don't think they do. I think it's stupid that Aaron Rodgers wants to come back. I mean, I know he wants to prove people wrong, and I know he wants to come back. But why? Why come back?
Yeah.
He to get hurt again, he ain't young.
Right.
He ain't young anymore.
Nope.
And then the other one of the other big games before we get into the big game tonight was Thursday night. Are the Steelers in trouble? The Pats Steelers.
Oh.
The Pats beat the Steelers.
The Steelers lost two weeks in a row to teams that were 2-10. Of course, they're in trouble. If you lose to 2-10 teams back-to-back weeks, you have a problem.
What do you think the problem is? Do you think it's the coach?
I don't know. Well, Tomlin's been there for so long. I don't know. I mean, I know Pickett's been out, so that could be a part of the issue. But just to lose to the Cardinals and then to lose the game like they did this week, nah, nope. So I don't know.
Opie said it right. Steelers have been bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
But now it's just showing through without Pickett there. Now their weaknesses are really showing up. So, and again, I'm not a big fan of this. The quarterback makes the team, but it makes a big difference. So I don't know. I don't see the Steelers doing much of anything right now after the past 2 weeks, unless they just go on a tear and win out the rest of the way. But I don't see it happening.
well, with the Bills, if Allen goes down, don't you think?
100%. He's a big component. I mean, sorry, that dude's the best player in the NFL. Record's not going to let him get the MVP votes that he needs, but that dude is a monster. He is just a monster. He's a one-man offensive machine. But again, he makes the team better. But, without him, yeah, they have a problem. But I don't know how their backup quarterback would be if they brought him in there. They still have the weapons. I mean, Dawson Knox just came back. They still have Stephon Diggs. So I don't know. But yeah, it makes a big difference. But I don't know. The Steelers team, I think they're done.
Do you think they need to get rid of Tomlin?
No.
That's the big talk.
No.
That is the big talk. They're calling to get rid of Tomlin. I think it's absolutely.
That's like telling the
asinine.
Patriots to get rid of Bill Belichick.
I think they need to get rid of him too.
That guy's a genius. I know he had great players, but that guy's a very intelligent man. Maybe he's going senile. I don't know, but I just don't see them getting rid of those two guys. I don't know.
But I get what you're saying. I mean, I think the Steelers definitely do not need to get rid of Tomlin, but
no,
because again, they're going to have a record. They're going to have a good record. But I think Chris is right. I think Bill's done at the end of the year. I think they're going to get rid of him. Maybe whether they let him go into another role, whether they let him go into something in the front office. But
he might go coach another team. His name alone.
Oh, absolutely. I think it might light a fire under people's asses. But it is just. I think he's done. I think it was more Tom Brady than him. But it's just like when, as much as I loved Andy Reid, the Eagles had such great. So I'm trying to read the comments here. The Eagles had such a great run with Andy, and I love Andy Reid. I love what he's doing with Kansas City, but the locker room wasn't responding to him, and I think Bill lost the locker room.
Chris just hit the nail on the head with that comment. Complacency. Maybe it is. Maybe you're right, Mark. Tomlin needs to change his scenery. Who knows?
I think Tomlin and Bill might go to another. Bill might go to another team and light a fire under their ass like they need to, but right now he's not, because he's doing everything. The fact that Joe just put it right, Bill's GM just let him down, and Bill's GM
75.
Bill's GM is Bill, and he just doesn't have. I mean, he hit the nail on the head with Tom Brady, but Mac Jones went backwards. I think if Bill or Tomlin either end up with, like Chris just said, with the Chargers, but Bill's also 75 years old, or however old he is. He's pretty old. He's up there in age. And
he's up there.
I think he wants the record. I think he wants to go for the most wins, though. I think that's what I think the Chargers need to get rid of their head coach too. You have Justin Herbert and the team that you have, and they are not playing up to par. They are not playing how they should with a quarterback like that. It's only whose first season? Sorry, I was trying to read. Who? Brandon Staley's.
Oh, Chargers coach.
Yeah, Brandon Staley. I don't think he just. I still don't. The choices he's made during these games, I just don't like what he's done. I think he needs to go. So we were talking about Purdy, and you said you ate your words with Purdy last week. Who do you think right now is the leading candidate for an MVP?
Brock Purdy.
Who do you think should have it?
Purdy. 100%.
Anybody else?
After him, Tyreek Hill, Miami. Guy's been on fire. And we don't really talk much about the Dolphins. That Dolphins team doesn't get any love from you and I, but they've been doing great things under the radar. Tua's been great. Tyreek Hill's been great. So if I had to choose another one, it would be Tyreek Hill would be one of the leading candidates, in my opinion.
Do you think they'll ever let someone that's non-quarterback win the MVP?
They should. Why not?
I'm
I
not
don't
saying why
care.
not.
They should. Absolutely.
I saw. I'm trying to remember what they said, because instead of most valuable player, there was another name that they should change it to, and it would take away from value, because we all know the number one team on the number one person on the field is the quarterback. The quarterback.
Well, he's your field
He's the
general.
most
but sure.
valuable person on the field. Most valuable player. He goes down. Allen goes down. Hurts goes down. I mean, we have Mariota, but Mariota ain't Hurts. Mahomes goes down. Whoever else.
Yeah, but see, the argument I'm going to have with that is you have to look at other people on the other side of the ball. You can throw the ball and get it in that general area. Tyreek Hill is going to pull it in. Michael Irvin was the same way with the Cowboys. You got it in the general area of that dude. He was just a big boy. He's getting the ball. So, yeah, the quarterback's throwing it, but there's other people catching it. There's other people running it. I mean, tight ends, they're catching the ball and making plays. I mean, there's so many undervalued players on the field, and I'll give you a good analogy to how this is so bottom backwards. The sports card market, most of the quarterback football cards are the most valuable ones because they're the ones that people are paying attention to, and they're the ones that are being collected. You can get cheaper wide receivers and tight ends and stuff like that, but everybody's looking at the quarterback like the quarterback is the football player, which, yeah, they're the field general. But in my opinion, I mean, even when you look at a Super Bowl, when you get the Super Bowl MVP award, 9 times out of 10, it's a quarterback. I don't think they always deserve it. I just don't. You're going to get 400 yards passing in a Super Bowl. That's great. But someone's got to catch the ball on the other end for you to make you look good.
Yep. Made the same point about the Heisman, the comments. It's the same way. It took a lot. Unfortunately, it takes record-setting numbers for a non-quarterback to win.
Yeah.
It takes, like when Devontae Smith won it, he set records. When he won the Heisman, that is. I think you're right. I think Hill is a monster. AJ Brown was with him for a little bit, but his production has lacked off a little bit. Not just on him. I don't think the Eagles are playing their best brand of football right now. But I think that I wouldn't argue one bit if Hill were to have the chance to win it. I think he would deserve it. He just runs so fast, runs by everybody. He's
insane.
A nightmare for defensive coordinators.
What about Chris
Tua?
Carter?
What about his quarterback?
Same thing. You're looking at what's happening down there, and I don't think the team in general is not getting the attention that it fully deserves because of all the stuff that's going on with the Eagles, with the Cowboys, with the Niners. Today's game with the Bills and the Chiefs, like they're getting all this attention, and Miami's just quietly running away with that division, and no one's really talking about it. So, and Tua, yeah, he's good. He's young. I don't know, it's 3rd or 4th year that he's playing in the league, but I mean, the Dolphins are not getting the attention they deserve as a whole. So I think they're going to make a lot of noise in the playoffs. I really do. I think they're going to shock a lot of people. They scare me a little bit.
Well, my thing is, though, is they haven't really beaten anybody. Same thing with the Cowboys. The Cowboys now have a gauntlet with the Eagles. I think they have the Bills next week. I think the Bills are playing them next week. They have the Dolphins all coming up in the next coming weeks. It's a gauntlet for the Cowboys. And I think the Cowboys and the Dolphins need to beat a good team. They need to beat a good team to prove that they If Tua plays well, then he might stand for it. If Dak plays well, Dak's been playing his, as much as it kills me to say being an Eagles fan, Dak's been playing well.
He
Even
plays
when-
great in the regular season.
Even when the Eagles, hey, I'm not upset with that. Hey, I think trust me, it is killing me every word coming out of my mouth. How I think Dak is close for, I think Dak is in the running for MVP over Hurts. You know, I think he's in the running for it if he keeps playing well. If he plays well tonight, if he plays well against the Bills and the Dolphins, he has something to say.
I don't know what you're drinking in that cup of yours, but I don't agree with that at all, bro.
A little
I'm
bit
sorry.
of whiskey.
And I don't like the Cowboys at all, but I don't think Dak Prescott even belongs in the MVP conversation. I don't.
I hate the. I'm an Eagles fan. I hate the Cowboys.
That's why I'm wondering what you're drinking. There's no. Holy shit.
I think he's in the conversation, though. I think he's in the conversation. I think he's in the conversation for top 5.
Okay.
They're winning in spite of him most of the time.
I want to.
I mean,
I'm
Micah
gonna-
Parsons is nasty. Micah Parsons is another. Do you think a defensive player will ever win MVP?
There's been many defensive players that should have been considered. Absolutely. So again, I don't see where. It's just asking if you're drinking pool water. I think it's toilet water actually, because he's beyond fucked up right now. I
Just
can't
wait until the end of the year.
I can't
I
even
hope
believe
I'm
you
wrong, Raquel.
mentioned Dak Prescott in the MVP conversation. But I want to see the end of the year how the MVP voting shakes out and see where Dak Prescott is and how many votes he gets. And if Marky, I'm hoping just for your sake that you're right, but I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Oh, I hope I'm not
So-
right. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they get destroyed tonight and the next 4 games.
So-
I just have to. I thought it was a
Kiddie
kiddie pool. But I like Joe. You made a great comment. Not to go back.
Mikey Cook,
backwards.
what's up? Prescott's a never was. He's not even a has been.
Hey, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to see Hill make a run at it, but I don't think he stands a chance. Unfortunately, I don't think Micah Parsons. I don't think
That kid's a beast.
any
He's a
of these
beast.
defensive players. They need to change. They need to. Lee, I agree with Mark. They need to change the wording for value, because again, when it comes to value, though, the quarterback goes down. It's besides, unless you're the Niners, because the Niners doesn't matter who's the quarterback. But
Right.
I think my opinion on who's winning this year so far is Purdy. Purdy's
I'm gonna bring this up again next week. I'm gonna do a little homework and see the past year's MVPs, who's been quarterbacks, who's been position players, and we'll talk about this a little more next week, because I'm kind of curious now to see all that stuff. I don't want to have anybody go busting through that now in the background and waste your time with that right at this moment. But I'm gonna take a piece of time and look at that this week and see what we got, so we can talk about this a little more.
Maybe top 20 quarterback in the league, Lee. Although I just said he
Yeah,
was,
he's not biased or anything.
No, but and I'm not biased either. That no, as I just said, he was in MVP running. I just hate the Cowboys that much that I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
So I think you guys already heard my predictions for tonight. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think the Cowboys should beat us, but I hope they don't. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to struggle because they struggle to beat good teams, and the Eagles are a good team. But they have a gauntlet coming up. They have us. They have the Bills, and Joe, I think you're right. Not to go backwards, but I think AP was the last non-QB to win it.
I think he's
and
right too.
I think he's right too. But anyway, so I think the Birds are going to hopefully eke one out tonight. But by all means, they should lose, which means they would be out of the top seed unless we need help. We definitely can still control our destiny. We have another tough game next week with the Seahawks, and then some divisional games to end it out. So,
Yep.
Anything else with football
No,
that you have going on, brother?
no, I'm anxious to see. I'm trying not to look at my phone because I'm trying to get updates on this Bills game, but I'm trying to not do that trying to stay engaged with you here. So now that Lee's back on the sidelines, I got to pay more attention.
Well, last thing I had refreshed, your Bills are doing well.
Hurts.
So-
Mike Cook said, "What about Hurts and Mahomes as the MVP this year? Both been doing good stay wise." Mahomes, I don't know. Mahomes is always going to be in the conversation just because of his name and the team that he's on and the things that he's doing, Mike. You know, the Chiefs are going to be a juggernaut for a few more years with as long as they keep that core together. So we'll have to see how this all shakes out. I still believe that Brock Purdy's going to run away with it. I think if, like I said, if my team had a few more wins, Josh Allen would be more in the conversation. But I mean, right now, the way our record sits, it's not going to happen for him. So,
yeah, I agree with you there. Mahomes will always be in the conversation because he's just a monster.
Yeah. I mean,
I just don't think his numbers are there this year with this score. I think with the team's record, just the same problem that you have with Allen. I think 9 times out of 10, Allen is the best football player on the field when the Bills play. Granted, Diggs is doing well, but
and the problem with my team right now is there's two plays that change our record in the landscape altogether. If we only have 12 players we had too many players on the field for the one penalty, and we ended up losing the game after that. And if freaking they make a field goal the 2 games ago, the game's all their record's completely different. So I just I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm pissed. So.
But Lee, you are right. Going back up to the comments, the Eagles still hold a lead with the division. But what I was talking about was what Chris was talking about. We would lose the number 1 seed. I want that bye, is what I want for the playoffs. And we knew the number 1 seed to the 49ers. So,
Michael Cook, Mike, I will bounce you out of here. I don't know if you guys know Mike. I love that guy. Him and I were in Cub Scouts together. He was a great man. I love him to death. I miss him terribly.
But
so,
all right.
Moving on.
I'm gonna let you you do. And then Hurts, real quick to touch on that one. I love Hurts. I'm an Eagles fan. If you and him bring it, I want to just record it.
It'd be hysterical.
But anyway, Hurts. His numbers are down. The team is doing great. The team knows how to win. But it's not, and he's individually has pulled off some wins with reading the defense, running, and stuff like that. But Lee, I definitely agree with you. Let's hope the Seahawks pull it out against the Niners. So let's move on from football because we could talk about football all night. Some other big things happen this week. Do you want to go Shohei or do you want to go Soto?
Pick.
All right, let's go Soto. Let's go Soto to start.
Soto, great trade. Don't get me wrong. Great trade. I know everybody's saying we gave up a lot to get him. Okay, we gave up 5 players, but those 5 players didn't cost us much. It's a rental right now. I don't see him signing an extension till the offseason. I know he said he's wanted to play in New York, but I don't see them signing an extension just because he's a Scott Boras client. I honestly, and I hate to say this, I hope he has somewhat of a mediocre year, so we're not spending through the roof on him, because he's going to want Aaron Judge money. I mean, he's a lot younger than Judge. He's going to want a big contract, and being the fact that we have $30 million a year tied up in Stanton, $30 million a year tied up in Garrett Cole, and $40 million a year tied up in Aaron Judge, I don't think we're going to be able to afford another contract. And now they're going after this other Japanese pitcher right now. Mike, you're going to say he's not worth the money. This guy walks more than he strikes out. The guy's on-base percentage is ridiculous. He's a great defensive outfielder. I don't think any of these players are worth the money that they're paid. Please don't let me misspeak here because the salaries are out of control. And I'm going to get into that with the next person we're going to talk about because I'm still flabbergasted by that contract. But I think Soto, I knew this was going to be their high priority target. They need a left fielder. When they got Verdugo a couple days prior to that, I was like, what the hell are they doing? So I think they're going to have a fantastic outfield. Verdugo is going to be their fourth outfielder. They got a lot of money tied up in that outfield. So it's going to be interesting to see. The Yankees are back doing Yankee things. I know the fans have been clamoring for them to spend. The problem is going to be, where is the ceiling? Because I'll get into this with the other team that we're going to talk about here shortly. You're going to get all these money tied up in these other players. You're not going to have the revenue to support it. You're going to start losing more players. I mean, you're going to start losing money, and you're not going to be able to sign. You're going to have all these old guys at the end of these long contracts, and they're not going to be doing it. So, yeah, Chris, I don't know, man. They might sign him. I just don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're just going to – if Steinbrenner is going to become like his dad and say, screw it, we're winning. We're going to win the World Series. Let's just get championship after championship. That luxury tax threshold is going to be high. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I wish they would trade Stanton somehow. That's an albatross of a contract. I think Derek Jeter was just trying to, when he was the owner of the Marlins, do the Yankees a solid and get them a player. But I don't think Stanton ever belonged on the Yankees at all. He should never been there.
Just real quick, because again, this is your team, your thing. To go with the money, I get it. I get what you're saying too. About how much they're getting paid is absolutely astronomical. It's insane. But I mean, if I had the chance to make that money, I can't say I'd turn it away. I think that it is insane. I don't need that kind of money in order to live. But I definitely wouldn't. Sure as hell wouldn't say no.
Your kids, grandkids are going to have money for the rest of their life. I mean, if they do this the right way, but it's ridiculous. I mean, you see people, and the thing is, you're going to raise ticket prices. No one's going to be able to afford to go to a game.
But do you think it's going to be all that? Because it's going to be ticket.
Where's the money going to come from?
They make money off of everything, don't they? Make money from the jersey sales, from even the shirts that say Stanton or the shirts that say Judge.
Yeah. So.
Like that's just I'm asking you like that.
Yeah, it does.
I'm asking you like
no, it does. You're going to get a lot of Soto jerseys. You're going to get a lot of new fans that want to come see Juan Soto and everything else. And I'm kind of struggling to not bring in the next topic, but I'm going to jump right into Ohtani to a degree with this part, because the signing of Ohtani, he's already in LA. That market is already flooded with Ohtani fans. So you're going to freaking just move across to another stadium. How many of those people, locals, are going to be like, oh, okay, well, we got to bring in more money now. The Japanese market, the fans are already there. So yeah, you might sell a couple more jerseys, but you're not going to get any more sponsorships that are already there. They're already there. So you're going to have to find different ways to bring in revenue. I mean, and Joe Sutton just hit it.
I would just say Joe just hit it.
The TV contracts, but they already have that in LA. If Ohtani went to a different market, then you got a whole bucket of new fans that you could tap into. You're not going to tap into that in LA. He's already there. And Carl is right. Carl, what's up, buddy? I missed you, man.
Carl just made a great point too, as well.
Yeah, fans pay for it. You're going to be paying $85 for a Dodger dog and $100 for a beer. So it is what it is.
So for those of you that haven't seen it, we can both basically talk about both of these guys together in a way. Shohei, 10 years, $700 million is what he got.
Yes.
That is insane.
It's insane. And I'm not trying to make this sound any better, so please don't take this the wrong way. His contract is going to be structured. A lot of the money is going to be deferred. I think his AAV, his average annual value, is going to be around $42 million. And the rest of the monies are going to be deferred towards the end. But that still is, yeah, see, Chris is getting there, $20 million for 35 years and a real number. The crazy part is they're spending on one player more than about 9 teams in their entire payroll. Oakland Athletics have a $38 or $39 million payroll. Ohtani's blowing that out of the water. Now, there's other players that are doing it. Aaron Judge being one of them. I'm a Yankees guy. I still don't think Judge should have got that kind of contract either. Judge is a different player than Ohtani, though. The Dodgers are paying for a glorified designated hitter. He is not even pitching this year. They've already
Is he
said
gonna
that.
pitch again?
He's not pitching this year.
I know he's not, but this is his second Tommy John surgery, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think he's getting the surgery. I think he's just going to take the year off and rest and see if it heals. I got to dig into more of that. But you're paying on paper $70 million this year for a DH.
Yeah.
Who fucking does that?
But the same are they taking the same that the Yankees used to take, where we'll spend whatever we can for the championships? Would you take, if you sign the fact that you got Soto, and if you can re-sign Soto, you don't care about how much he pays if it brings you championships? Are you going to be okay with that as a Yankees fan? Because I know you're a diehard Yankees fan.
You're tying too much money up into you're tying too much money up into too many players. My theory on this, and I'm going to go back to the late 90s Yankees, the 96, the 98, that team all the way through. You had a couple of stars and you had your supporting players. Those players were not making buku bucks. Scott Brocious, you had Chuck Knobloch, Paul O'Neill. Like, that was your supporting cast. Now the Yankees are Giancarlo Stanton, 30 million, Aaron Judge, 40 million. Like, the high-priced players are not going to win you the championship. Between Judge and Stanton, they strike out entirely too much. Judge overall is a fantastic ball player. You take his strikeouts away. Defensively, he is the heart and soul of that team. He deserves to be the captain. But you're paying Garrett Cole $35 million a year. He plays every fifth day.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Is he worth it? On paper, yeah. But what could you do with that $35 million? Let him go play for another team. You know what I mean? We could spend $35 million on a bunch of players instead of one that's going to tie up your contract and your payroll. That's it. And I'll go back to the Dodgers. Between Shohei and Mookie Betts alone, they've got $1.4 billion tied up in two players for the next 10 years. That's insane.
But for the thing is
yes, they need a salary cap. Go ahead. Sorry, Mark.
No, that's okay. But the thing is so it goes back and forth because you got the Angels that had Shohei and Trout before did absolutely nothing. They never haven't made playoffs. They haven't done shit. Well,
you're just proving my point, though. Why?
But then the also thing is so now the Dodgers just spent the money, but they already are a playoff team. So does that put them over with spending that money?
No, it doesn't, because look at the salaries. The Yankees, the Mets, the Red Sox, the Dodgers have couple of high. Maybe the Red Sox are down below now, but I know the Mets have one of the highest payrolls. Where'd they go last year? Nowhere. It has nothing to do with what you're paying these guys. It has to do how they play as a team. This is not, I'm going to inflate my bank account. As a team, they need to mesh. They need to flow together. There's no yin and yang with some of these ball clubs. And the Dodgers are a perfect example. They should be running the gauntlet and killing everybody with their payroll if you want to go by payroll numbers.
Now, how do you think they would go about doing a salary cap? The fact that they have all this money already tied up into these players, how can they say, "Oh, hey, now we're going to do a salary cap"?
They would have to grandfather the current contracts in somehow, and when the contracts were done, they'd have to put a hard cap on it. That's the only way possible. You're going to be paying Shohei for the next 10 years. So in 2033 or 2034, which is insane, you're going to be paying that guy till then at $70 million a pop. Granted, deferred money is going to be in there. Yeah. This is only going to get worse if they do something now, because, when we saw Aaron Judge's contract, like, wow, that's a whopper of a contract. Yeah, it is. Someone's is going to be bigger. Someone's is going to be bigger than Shohei Ohtani at some point. And I love the fact that this guy's a two-way player. I love that he's a pitcher and he's a hitter, but he's maybe a number 3 starting pitcher. He's not even an ace. He's a good hitter.
His numbers in the beginning of last year, though, were pretty good, though. He was leading the league in strikeouts, if I remember correctly.
Correct. But again,
until he got hurt. And
the sample size, right. There you go. He got hurt. But even on any other team, you can't tell me Shohei Ohtani's a better pitcher than Garrett Cole. There's just so many different variables to this guy. I think that's just I don't know what the word is for it, but what's drawing you to him is like, oh, he's the modern day Babe Ruth. Okay, he's a good ball player. He's a good hitter. He's a good pitcher. Is he a great pitcher? No. Is he a great hitter? He's almost there. I think if he concentrated on one facet of his game, he would excel completely. But I don't see the money for this contract. It's insane. And I don't see LA generating the revenue with the Dodgers where they're going to be able to support this. I think the team's going to go bankrupt at some point, or they're not going to be able to sign other players in a couple of years because they're just going to be too buried in these contracts. And if they go out, and I'll say this, if they go out and sign Yamamoto, who's this other pitcher that's coming through,
the one from Japan, right? That
I can't. You know what I mean?
The Yankees are going after him, right?
Yeah, the Yankees are trying to get him. And again, if they sign him, that's going to be another $200 or $300 million payroll onto them. I don't know. I don't like the way it's structured. And yes, it does need a salary cap because now you have smaller market teams. Oakland, Seattle, those teams don't have the money. Seattle's putting together a great team, but they don't have the money that these other teams are spending because of the markets that they're in. Now I know Oakland's moving to Las Vegas, so they're going to generate revenue just because it's a new thing. They're going to have all those new jerseys to sell, all those new hats, all those new fans that are going to be there. But that's going to fizzle out at some point if they don't do something to compete with these other big ball clubs.
I agree 100%. I like I said, it's going to be interesting to see if it pans out for him. One of my good friends is a Dodgers fan, and he wanted it. If you guys saw any of the comments on Facebook, he wanted him because it wasn't his money. So we're going to find out if it actually pans out. And we'll see the same thing with Soto. Do you think Soto was a good fit with the Yankees? Do you think with the outfield?
I think for the year, the rental that they got him for, at first I was a little pissed off. They gave up some prospects, but thinking about it and the offensive player that he is and the defensive player that he is, for the 1 year, we really didn't give up a lot. We didn't give our top tier prospects up. We still kept Spencer Jones. I mean, we kept a lot of our upper level prospects. So no, I don't think it was a bad deal. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And if they sign him long-term, so be it. Like I said, at some point, this is going to have to come back down to earth, or there's only going to be like 5 baseball teams in the country.
I hear you. I mean,
there'll be 30 on paper,
yeah,
but there's only going to be 5 teams that are going to be competitive.
Absolutely. So, well, we're getting pretty close on time here. So, real quick, so the thing that they we've been doing kind of like a fun question each week, and then we're going to add some more stuff next week that you and I talked about earlier.
Yep.
Sporting events. I have 3 sporting events that I've never been to that I want to go to. So, one was the Army Navy game. Just the atmosphere was absolutely insane. I've always wanted to go. Number 2, being a North Carolina basketball fan, which, have you seen how Duke and North Carolina have been doing it lately? Pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want to go to one of those games.
You always have to bring that shit up to piss me off.
One of those games. I always want to go see one of those games, feel the atmosphere there. And last but not least, I know this is a random one that might catch you off guard. I want to go to a Daytona 500. Random, I know, being a sports. I've been to Pocono Raceway, our local raceway. I was a blast. I just want to see a Daytona 500.
Dude, you've been one of my best friends for years, and I've never once heard you mention NASCAR in my life.
I used to be, back in the day, I used to be a big Earnhardt fan, used to be a big then I was a Dale Jr. fan. One of my exes, her fathers were into it, so instead of watching football, we watched NASCAR on Sundays. And I used to love it. And then I think Cameron, we're gonna have to get you in here one of these times. We'll talk about some F1 stuff like that. Get you on one of these days, do some segments on racing and stuff like that. I know you and I have talked. But yeah, I want to do the Daytona 500. I think it would just be watching those guys precision driving 200 miles an hour.
That's going to be a hell of a trip. Let's do it.
Yeah. So what about you? What are some and believe it or not, Super Bowl is not even. I mean, Super Bowl would be cool, but again,
Super Bowl's too fucking expensive.
That, and we talked about it last week, that the experience you get on TV is comparable to seeing it, seeing it live.
So my first thing is going to be, and Bridie's going to love this, I want to go see a game at Fenway Park. I've never been to Fenway. I've been to a lot of baseball stadiums, but Fenway's the one I want to go to.
We gotta go.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Second one, I've never done this. I've been to every major professional sport except for a hockey game.
You never.
So I've been to the Wilkes-Barre Penguins, but I've never seen like the Rangers, the Flyers, anything like that. And they're not that far from us. I've never been to a professional hockey game, so I definitely want to do that. Third one, ooh.
Yeah,
Cameron's like, what? Yeah, sorry, Cam. I've never been to a professional hockey.
So
game.
I follow a little bit of hockey a little bit. We're gonna have to get some. We're gonna have to get some guys on here to talk about hockey a little bit more. I do love.
Carl, I am serious, and Carl, I will open this invite to you. I'll fill Mark in on. Carl used to work for me at my other job, and Carl's a good friend of mine. Carl's a huge Bruins fan. So, Carl, I'm going to extend this invite to you, too. If Mark and I go to a hockey game, or when we go, I should say, you are invited along to come to the trip with us. Yeah. So, but I definitely want to go see that stuff. I got to do a third one. So I've been meaning to do this for a couple of years now. I don't know if you know Bobby Fortuna down in Hawley. And I can say this because they've invited me 100 times, but they do the drag race cars. And his father was like a national champion or something last year for something. I'll look it up and I'll bring it to the table next week. But they've been bugging me to come down. I haven't gone yet, so I want to go see them live. They've offered me to come in the pits with them. Bobby, if anybody just watching doesn't know, Bobby Fortuna was a young guy. He's like 16 now, but when he was in second grade, was in desperate need of a kidney transplant. And he was actually able to, yes, NHRA, Kim. He was actually able to get a kidney transplant, and now he's been like my little buddy since then, and he's a really good kid. It's a really great story. And I've become really close with the family, so they've been begging me to come down and see one of their drag stuff. So I definitely want to do that. So kind of the race thing with you. The Daytona would be cool. The drag racing stuff's going to be pretty close to home. Like I think there's one just out towards Reading, I believe, where they do it. So I definitely want to go see that also.
Well, we have definitely some trips to go because, man, watching a hockey game in live person, it's the opposite to me as football. Watching it live, there's no better than watching guys put each other up against the glass and stuff like that. I see a lot of these guys commenting. We are pretty close on time here. We'll definitely have to we'll have to talk more about that hockey guy and stuff like that. I think I got to do some more research before I comment and make sure what we can do there.
Mike, we're going to have some chatting here. You're talking about all this stuff you can get for us. We'll have to drag you along with us too and hang out because you're a good time. Mike is a funny fucking dude. So he's a great man. But guys, when we do these trips, we're also going to take short videos and stuff. We'll post them so you guys see what we're doing. And, we'll do a couple of reels and things like that when we're out to, just so we're not doing it for just our own enjoyment, but we'll take you guys along with us too.
So sounds good, my friend. So I think it was another great week. The comments have been amazing, guys. Please keep it up. I love trying to keep up with everything that trying to keep up with Aaron and I talking and jumping back and forth with the comments has been amazing. Please keep it coming. Also tonight, make sure you check out our main episode. Check out Corey and Justin and those guys. They have nice live podcast coming up here in about a little less than an hour. They have another podcast joining them. I heard it's going to be pretty wild. Please jump in and jump in with them. I'm trying to remember the name of the podcast that's joining them.
While you're thinking, I want to just kind of piggyback off a little bit too, because we're trying to get this podcast to get up to 1,000 followers, and right now we're in the 830s, 840s. It's been climbing, but Corey's looking to give away a merch giveaway when we get to 1,000 followers. So all you guys out there watching, listening, please like, share, follow, share these videos. Get your friends to follow the page. I don't know what Corey's going to give out, but I do know that I got this really cool sticker today that Corey gave me, so I was happy about that.
Yeah.
So we have someone called the Trendy Forbes who does a lot of T-shirts and tumblers and all kinds of cool stuff. You can follow them over on Facebook, but they are going to help us out with our giveaway. Once we hit 1,000 followers, we're going to give away, whether you guys want a T-shirt, long sleeve tee, hoodie, regular sweatshirt, whatever the hell you want, along with a tumbler and maybe a little bit of stickerage for you guys. So that's what we're going to give away once we hit 1,000 followers. So make sure that you guys like, comment, and share all of our nonsense and deep thoughts stuff, as well as all the sports shit, guys, because these guys are just starting off, but they are going to kill it over here for us.
Corey, all your help, brother. Thank you.
I'm proud of you, Corey, because I've been trying to bait you to come out of this backstage the entire time, and you finally took the bait, bro.
I've been trying. And to help Mark out, we are live in about 50 minutes with the Nonsense and Deep Thoughts show, and we are welcoming on the guys from Strikeout Beer Podcast. They are on Facebook, they are on Twitch, YouTube, and the works. You know the drill. These guys are some cool dudes. You guys are gonna really like them. So, I mean, if you're checking out the show, you're gonna really dig these guys. They're cool. They're down to earth. They're into sports. These guys, they had their show earlier this week so that they can go play some beer league softball afterwards. So I want to find out how the hell they're going. They live down in Texas, so I want to know how they're playing softball like 8 o'clock at night.
They got lights, man. Lights down there.
I know it's a better setup than around here, man. Jesus.
Nick, Nick, Nicky Nick. Nick's, I think he plays out in Arizona. He plays and they play at the night. They play with lights and stuff like that. I think I've been talking to him a little bit and I think he plays out there in the lights too. Yeah, Strikeout Beer. I saw and I was trying to bait you, so I knew. So I said the right name. I didn't want to screw anything up there, but we got.
Right, I'm gonna back out. You guys handle the rest.
All right, my dude.
All right. So again, like, comment, share, follow us on Facebook. We got this. Aaron, it's been good, my brother. Another great week.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see what's happening next week, and so we can hopefully talk about this Eagles victory.
Yeah, we'll chat. We'll break it down. I'm sure you'll be texting me during the game tonight, which is fine before you fall asleep. Yeah, I know you have to be up early, so I'll keep an eye for you. But again, always a pleasure, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it, and we will see you next week. Same channel. We'll get a job out. We'll get a time out there for you guys so we know where we're going. I don't think I have anything going next Sunday. I'm pretty much open all day. So
Lee says let him know about that jersey. So
it's all yours, buddy.
And then Lee will get you back on, and a couple other guys. I've talked to you a little bit. We want to get you on, and we'll go from there.
I'm going to ship this jersey to Lee in a Rubbermaid trash can.
All right. On that, my last saying, go Birds.
Good luck today, buddy.